Hi guys, Trans Am times 2 here. Just figured I'd go ahead and introduce you to my car and explain a little bit about it, what it's got, what it doesn't have, what the plans are. It's a 98 Pontiac Trans Am. It's not a factory Ram Air WS6, but I've got an aftermarket True Fiber brand fiberglass Ram Air hood, so it looks very similar to it. It is a 6-speed manual. I've got about 160,000 on it. I've put probably almost 100 of those on it. Obviously I'm not the original owner. Rims and tires are aftermarket OE wheels, Z06, C6 Z06R style wheels, I believe they're called. Obviously the little bit of the paint's chipping off on a couple of the center caps, but they've been pretty good rims. I wish I'd gone without the rivets, because the rivets seem to be corroding more than anything else. Tires, I'm running Nitto NT555s, 275 40 17s on the front, and Nitto NT05 295 35 18s on the back. I believe the rims in the back are 18 by 10 or 10 and a half, maybe 10 and a half, and the fronts are 17 by 9 and a half. The paint obviously isn't factory. It's I did a plastic dip paint job on it, and excuse the dirt on it. I haven't washed it in a week. But the color is Tahitian green, and I did paint the halo black, and I painted over the T-tops because I live in Florida, and they're basically solar heat panels in the summer, so I blacked it out. Hopefully that keeps the car cooler on the inside. The brakes are factory calipers, just painted red with the... Right now, it obviously sits a little bit lower than factory. It's got Strano sport springs, front and rear, with Koni Shocks, the non-adjustable ones. I'm also running Strano sway bars front and rear. Probably the biggest modification that's got done to it is I actually have a Ford 8.8-inch rear end. Don't know how well you can see any of that, but I also have Founders Performance torque arm, adjustable lower control arms, adjustable panhard rod. Basically, once you lower it, you need the panhard rod to get your center of gravity back, or your rear end centered again. The interior is terrible. I'm in the process. I just replaced my window guides because they were beat up and were actually, you see, scratching the tint on the window. So obviously my tint's in terrible shape. That's going to have to be redone. I've already removed it off the hatch, but I made up some plates here to reinforce. This is a metal plate that I cut to fit in here to reinforce the mounting points for the window track and the motor mount. So previously these were just riveted from the guide on the inside of the door through the fiberglass, and over time those rivets loosened up and actually oblonged out those holes, so as you raised and lowered the window, there was some slop to it. I'm going to be doing the same thing on the passenger side, but might be able to show you a little bit on the passenger side. I do have a B&M Shifter on it. Honestly, it was already on it before I bought the car, but it is a very nice shifter. It does give it a really nice feel. I've got a Rexing camera dash cam, and it works very well for me right now. The only thing I had a problem with it was, this is actually the second one. The first one I had in this summer, this plastic here started to melt, and it would actually pull away from the clip and then would just fall off all the time. So I've had this one for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months now. We'll see if it survives the summer or not. Obviously my seats, like most of them in this era, are pretty much totally shot. You can see the foam coming out. And I'm in the process of either repairing or replacing them. I might do seat covers, I might replace the seats. I haven't fully decided yet. I do have aftermarket stereo speakers. They're nothing really that special, they just work. The fronts are Alpine. I've upgraded the headlights to HID, and I've upgraded the fog lights to aftermarket halogen with some of those, the halo effect color changing option. I'm not really big on the color changing halo thing, but it basically came with it. So from this controller, don't know how well you can see it, but it's got a blue LED lit up. That just indicates that I got a blue halo on the front. I believe the brand was Navigator, I believe. I don't know how well you can see that in the daylight, but it's got a slight blue ring to it. It's much more obvious during the day. Only thing I really don't like about that halo kit is every time you turn the ignition off, it cycles to the next color. So if I have a green car and I'd like a green halo every single time, I'd have to cycle through all the different colors, which is like 9 or something, to get all the way back to green again every single time I turn the car on. So you can barely see a green halo. Again, it looks better during the nighttime, but it's neat. What other modifications have I done? I have a Camaro. Actually, I have a Camaro steering wheel with the center part still Pontiac. The only real difference is you'll see it's a shade more black, whereas the airbag is a shade more gray. You don't really notice it. One thing I did like about the Camaro steering wheel is it's got the ribbed backside to it across the top, which, it just, for me personally, I just like the feel of it better. So here's the bottom side of the True Fiber hood. Actually, the True Fiber hood fit really well right from the factory. I'm very happy with it. It's not perfect, but I never expected a fiberglass hood to be perfect right from the factory. I've got an aftermarket self-made oil catch can here. I've got a breather installed up there. Obviously a aftermarket cold air induction. I do have a LS6 intake that I put on it. I've also done the throttle body coolant bypass mod on it. That'd be, this line here is no longer going into the throttle body, which it usually would go in here. I've got headers. I've got a no cats, so I have cat delete, and I have a Flowmaster muffler on the back with what sounds to me like a broken baffle in it right now. So it's loud. It sounds good. I wish the baffle wasn't broken. Transmission itself, I did rebuild at 111,000 miles, I believe it was. I also painted my mirrors black just for a different appearance. I'll put the camera down here and I'll give this start up. You can hear what it sounds like. Okay, the headers are Texas Speed. I used a Texas Speed Y-pipe also with the cat delete in it. And to be honest, the headers fit very well. They hung down just a little bit more than I would like on the driver's side. Well, you can see from underneath. But, you know, overall they fit pretty well. This is the passenger side shot, so you know, you can see the headers hang down just a little bit more than the rest of the exhaust system. Go around to the driver's side. And again, you can see the headers themselves come down a little bit lower than I'd like. They could be tucked up better if they were shaped differently. That's the car. I kind of started with the username Trans Am X2 or Trans Am ×2 because for quite a while I had two Trans Ams. I had this 98 and I also had an 87 350 tune port automatic. And unfortunately the 87 needed more work body-wise than it was worth. And I still have the motor and transmission, but the car itself, the floor pans rotted out, and being a mid-80s car, it wasn't going to be worthwhile for me to patch in floor pans and everything. But I will miss that car. That was my first real sports car, muscle car. I got that car when I was 18, and I'm 39 now, so so for right now, this is my baby, but that's it. Hope you like my car. Feel free to comment, leave your suggestions on what you think I should